Okay, in this lesson here, what we're going to do is talk about key binding. Basically, all we're going to do is show you how you can go about setting up hotkeys for these commands. And even go a step further and show you how to set up a single hotkey that will trigger multiple commands as well. So with that, Logan, let's take it away.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just go over what the basic syntax of this key binding is. So let's say we want to take the P key and make it do something. Well, the command to do that is set space input. That's your basic keybind command. And then it takes in what key you want to use. So in this case, I'm going to use P. And then what you want that key to do. So let's say, I don't know, something interesting, maybe just a basic command like jump. Or how about fly?
Okay.
So set input P fly. We hit enter, and now I'm still running around like normal until I hit the P key. As soon as I hit that, now I'm in fly mode. Of course, I don't have anything to make me go back to walking, so I have to bring up the console and type walk to go back down. But now we do have a key bound to flying.
Right. Now, obviously, I mean, if there was a particular command that you were using over and over again for testing with a mod that you were working on, you could see how the binding could become very important.
Right. If you used God, Ghost, and Fly and Walk a lot, take 4 keys right next to each other and bind each key. So jump into the level, hit a button, fly around, hit a button, go and walk around.
Yeah. Very cool.
Makes testing a lot faster.
Okay.
Now, after that, we want to take a look at, well, what if you wanted to run multiple commands, but on the single press of a key? So it's basically just a matter of adding more commands and then spacing them using the pipe symbol. For example, we could do set input P again, fly, but we want to activate God mode at the same time. So I could type a pipe symbol and then whatever other command I want. So maybe God as well. So now if I hit P, you feel much lighter, and, well, I had God mode on from a while ago.
So it just toggled it off, yeah.
And since God is a toggle, I can hit it, and God mode back on, and flying again.
Okay, very cool. And you can just string as many of these together as you'd like.
Right, so let's throw suicide in there as well.
This will be interesting.
So I'm going to go into God mode so that I can suicide.
Okay. Splat.
So you feel much lighter. God mode off. Jayhawk had an aneurysm. So really easy to throw multiple commands onto a single key.
But now we can make things even more interesting where we can basically introduce an on-release as well. So in other words, you can push a key down and have it do one thing or a series of things, and then the moment you let go of the key, it does something else.
All right, let's take a look at that on-release first. I'll use a suicide command because that's a very obvious one, if you will. So I could do set input P suicide. Now, of course, that's just going to bind it like normal. The moment I tap the key, then the command's going to be issued. Instead of, I can go to the command and go right before it. So I'm hitting the left arrow key to go right before suicide. And I can say on release. So set input P on release suicide.
Which means now when you hit P,
nothing will happen.
Happens, but you're still holding P down at this moment. I see you.
So if I was to let go of the key now I suicide.
You die.
So kind of cool. And the really cool thing about that is you can combine an on-release command with a normal one. So if I was to do set input P...
Make them jump.
Yeah. So set input P jump, and then I'll use the pipe symbol so I can type another command. But before I type that, say on release. I guess I spelled that right. Hang on. One moment. On release. Suicide. So now if I hit the key, jump, die. Which is really funny if I simply tap it now. Then I'll basically do a, spring suicide.
Splat. Donk. That's awesome. So, or go ahead and jump back in and go ahead and hit P and hold it down. So you'll jump up and come down and land.
So we've completed our jump, but it's the moment I let go of the key, well, there goes the other command.
Very nice. So this way you could create, toggles too, like if you wanted to just make a toggle to switch God mode on until you let
fly.
Go. Or fly.
So if we were to do it, I'm just going to get a little bit lazy now and start using the up arrow key more and erase this back to say set input P.
So P's going to have you fly, and then on release you'll walk.
And then another command on release walk.
Sounds just like a quick
so
toggle
if I was to
for flying.
Hit P, fly up in the air, but the moment I let go, maybe I hit the on release wrong. On release walk. So
Donk.
Fly, walk. Fly, walk.
Very nice. course, the problem is now navigating.
A little bit trickier.
Yeah, a little bit
you
trickier.
have to hold the key down.
Exactly.
Since fly is a toggle anyway.
But it is cool. I mean, it's just something worth knowing because you never know when you might be able to utilize it. All right, very cool. All right, let's see. What else can we talk about?
Well, actually, here's something kind of interesting. While we're on the topic of setting up keys, you can actually get a visual or a view, a default or a property style window view of what's currently bound. One of the commands you can use is preferences. Hang on.
Too much typing at 1:42 in the morning.
So when typed correctly, Preferences brings up the Advanced Options window. Now, not only does this have a lot of game settings, most of which are stored in the main ini file for the game, but you also have under Advanced, raw key bindings. Under raw key bindings, we have all the keys that the game recognizes and what they currently do. Like here we've got 0 through 9, switch weapon. We've got strafe left for the A key. So you can see, and this is kind of useful as yet another command reference, as you can see what all the normal functions in the game do.
Right.
So you can go through here and maybe make up your own binds or change them. Because from right here we can go and simply type in anything we want to, and it'll accept it.
So new things that you put in.
So if I made, instead of strafe left, let me cut that out and make that jump instead. If I was to go back into the game now, I'm hitting my normal strafe left key, and
it's causing you to jump.
So, since I really do like the strafe left ability, I think I'm going to go and put that back in there.
Okay, now, in case anybody out there is wondering, now if you set up some of your own bindings all together.
Right, so if I was to go, maybe even scroll all the way down to the P key.
There you go.
So let's grab up just a little. Fly on release walk. So
very nice.
Maybe just shorten that to just fly. Or good old suicide on the P key command. So set anything you want up to here, which is kind of cool because you can see exactly what the command is. If you're unsure of how you bound a key, you can always go to the advanced properties first to see what you were doing, instead of accidentally rewriting or overwriting it with an invalid command.
Right. Awesome. That's a cool little bonus for this lesson.
So, before we end it off, I want to show one more, just because I like this command so much. Not really overly useful for game tweaking, but kind of useful for gameplay. It's the piped switch weapon command, which you may be familiar with, in a certain patch that was released way back in UG 2003, set it an interesting weapon switching functionality. The first thing I'm going to do is type loaded, so I have all weapons. Now, a pipe switch weapon will allow you to do is basically stack multiple weapons onto one key, if you want to look at it that way. And the syntax to it is piped switch weapon, and then some weapon slots. So I'll take like 5, maybe the link gun. Then use the pipe symbol and do, say, piped switch weapon again, and this time do 6. So now I have both weapon slots 5 and 6 stacked onto... Actually, notice what I'm doing here. I'm about to type it out and actually execute it as opposed to binding it to a key. And check this out. This is what I was talking about. The ability to use the insert inside of a console is priceless here. Okay, instead of retyping all that, home key, and let's type some more. Set input. Here we are in the key binding lesson, and I'm already to forget the actual key binding syntax. Set input, good old P key. So stack weapon slot 5 and 6 onto the P key. Execute that now if I hit P, link gun, minigun. And I'm just hitting the key over and over again now. One other interesting thing about the way this works is, if you have some weapon that's not stacked onto that key, already selected, and then you hit your pipe switch weapon key, it'll go to the first one. It'll always go in order, meaning weapon slot 5 will always be selected first. So if I'm, say, on the shock rifle instead, and hit 5, link gun gets selected. No matter what else I had selected, it'll always go link, minigun, the way I had that set up. Just really cool for quick access to weapons. Like you could put all your heavy weapons like the flak, the rocket, or what have you.
Right. Very nice. Okay, so with that, I think that's going to kind of get all the key binding stuff out of the way. Okay, so that's going to wrap up this lesson. Thanks, everyone.